Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now today guys, I'm going to talk to you about sponginess in cacti, what it is and what causes it, and is it a cause of alarm? Now I'm going to show you some examples here. I often get asked, Lynn, I have a cactus and it feels very soft and spongy when I squeeze it. Is it rotting? Now this can depend on many things. It is normal for cacti to feel a little bit spongy. They've gone many months without any water. This is our cacti we keep in our polytunnel here. We do not give them a scrap of water from sort of August, late August until late March. Other than the epiphytes, which are all hanging up in the hanging baskets here, we give these water slightly, just enough to stop them from being shriveled up because they're epiphytic cacti. But our desert cacti here on the trays, we keep bone dry. And they have to go through the whole of the winter without any water at all. And then actually, cacti store water in the stem cells in their plant bodies. So the longer they go without any water, they take water from their stem cells during the winter months. They go through a winter dormancy, a winter rest, and this is very important to promote flowering. They need that winter rest as well because in the spring they come into new growth and they form new flowers. And unless you have your plants in a very warm, heated house where you have to sort of carry on watering them a little bit, it is good to keep them pretty much dry. Also, it helps them to survive cold temperatures if they're kept dry. This polytunnel here, we have a heater there that we keep at. If the temperature inside this polytunnel drops below 5 Celsius, which is about 41 degrees Fahrenheit, this amazing heater here kicks on automatically and it stops it from being really cold and frost free. So obviously we keep these plants dry and they survive all through the winter months, but they're naturally going to take a bit of water from their stem cells, and as they do that they're going to shrivel a little bit. I mean, here's an example here. This is a Pharoah Cactus here. That's a bit shriveled. Clearly a good sign that it's used all its water reserves up. Pharoah cacti here. These might look perfectly healthy here, but if I was to squeeze these, they're a bit like sponges because they're using a lot of their water reserves. And this is so good to do because the drier you keep your cacti by the root, the more likely they are to cope with colder temperatures. And this is so important to give them their winter rest, because they then in the spring, when you start to water them again as normal, they'll form flowers and come out of their winter dormancy. Getting warmer now, these plants will all fatten up again and they'll start to send out flower buds and everything like that, which is going to be really exciting. And obviously, because I say they're using their water reserves that they hold in their stem cells, they're going to feel a little bit spongy if I touch them. I mean, this is a good example here. Matucana, again, a bit spongy. Lophophora are very prone to sponginess here, very spongy. I'm going to show you Echinocereus here. This plant here is very spongy. I mean, if you didn't know, you'd think it was rotting. But as you can see, it's very healthy, very green, and very firm at the top. But here, where it's using up its water reserves, very spongy. I'm going to show you a little bit here as well. Oh, in the polytunnel. I'm going to go up here to mostly the apuntures. These are very shriveled. Look how shriveled that is, guys. This is one I grew from seed, Apuntia humifusa. Very shriveled up there. But a perfect example of how it looks when it uses up its water reserves. And that will soon fatten up when I water it again. But it feels very spongy. I mean, if I was to press that, if I didn't know much about cacti, I'd think it was rotting or something because it's so spongy. But this is perfectly normal. It's actually a good sign, because when they go spongy like that, when they use up their water reserves, it helps them to cope with colder temperatures better than if they were plump, because plump cacti are more prone to cold and frost and things like that. And as I say, we never have frost in this polytunnel. I had a little bit of a scare a few weeks ago, but everything's pretty much doing okay. And this is why I want to do this video, because so many people say to me my cactus is spongy and I'm worried about it. Well, it all depends how it looks. Some plants, cacti, are very prone to sponginess. This is completely normal during the winter months, and nothing to worry about at all, because it's gone so many months without water. It's going to go spongy as it uses its water reserves. But what I do say to them is, if your cactus appears to be very brown at the base and it's spongy and it looks like it's rotting, then this is a cause obviously for alarm. And you do need then sometimes, if your cactus is rotting, you need to do an emergency operation on it. And links up above and down below to a video I've made on how to save a rotting cactus if this happens to you. Sometimes this happens during winter and that's sad, but hopefully your cactus is just soft and squashy because it's using up its natural water that it's storing in its stem cells. And that's what this video is about. You have to look at your cactus and know if it's healthy or not, if it's spongy, but there's no signs. I mean, here this is very, very sort of soft and squodgy, but there's no signs of rot at all at the base. Natural for a little bit of brown, because that's obviously normal with all plants, but no signs of rot in there. And if it's very brown at the base and it has a bad smell or any signs of rotting, do get it out the plant and do an emergency operation on it, cut the rot out. But this time of year, pre-spring, this is normal for cacti and succulents, particularly cacti, to be a bit soft at the bases here. And as I say, it's very soft. And here, and Echinocereus are very prone to it. And the gentry here is the cucumber cactus. As you can see, it looks like a cucumber. Very, very soft and squashy, very sponge-like. I mean, if I touch that, that's just like touching a sponge. It really is. But nothing to worry about, guys. And as soon as I water this, when the weather gets warmer in here in the polytunnel, I'm going to give all these plants a good water. They're going to firm up and start to send out flower buds. And the reason why I want to do this video is if you have plants that feel spongy to the touch, then this is normal. Don't panic. The only time you need to panic is if it's looking brown and rotted at the base and there's a bad smell coming from it. Then you need to treat it as a cutting because it's rotting. So guys, I hope you found this video useful, and to know that sponginess is perfectly normal late winter, early spring. And should you start to, well, obviously when you do start to water your plants again, your cacti, in the spring, they'll fatten up and that sponginess will go away. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye.